Okay, I'm going to show you how to create a scatter plot and a line of best fit using your graphing calculator to help us answer some questions. So in this case, we have a table given to us that's telling us the number of hybrids or fuel efficient vehicles in thousands on the road in America, a certain number of years past 1997. So I already have my answers up here, but I'm going to show you how I use my calculator to arrive at those answers. So first thing first, we have to get this data typed into the calculator. So to do that, press the stat button right here. And then, oops, there we go. Press the stat button and then select edit option 1 from right there. So press enter to select. Now you should see L1, L2 pop up. You may have some other information in these other lists, that's fine, but you need to see L1 and L2. If you have data in there, what you can do to get rid of the data, you can either type over it, or if you arrow up to L1 and press clear and then press enter, that will clear out the list for you. Now be careful, if you go up to L1 or L2 and you press delete instead, watch what happens. Uh-oh, L2 is gone. If that happens, or if you're not seeing L1, L2, here's how you're going to get that to show back up. So just a real quick side note. So go back to stat, select option 5, setup editor, and then press enter. Once you get to the screen, it'll look like nothing happened. It'll just say done. But now when you go back to stat and edit, there's your L1, L2. So let's get our data typed in. Our X values are going to be our L1 information. So I'm going to go ahead and get that typed in. So 1, 2. You can go out there and do this too. I'm sure it's super exciting to watch me do this. Talk amongst yourselves. Go get a snack. And then in L2, go ahead and do the same thing. Oops, so enter. Go over to L2 and then type in your Y data. Make sure your data lines up. I've had people get their information. Ooh, I can use my keyboard, that'll be quicker. I've had people type in all their data and they mistyped one piece and that messed up their whole thing. So just make sure you get all the data, make sure your data doesn't mismatch and all that stuff. Okay, so there's all my data typed in. If you want to see the scatter plot, here's what we're going to need to do. First of all, press Y equals. Make sure there's nothing typed in your graph. So if there's any graphs in there, clear those out. And then press second Y equals to get into stat plot. Select option 1. And then we want to turn this on. So select on. Everything else should be set up by default. The type is the type of graph. That's already a scatter plot. That should already say L1, L2. We've got that. If you want to change the mark or the color, that's fine. If you hit graph, though, you probably won't see much because our window's not set up correctly. So to see that scatter plot, press window, and let's set this up. Now, you may have other things showing up in your calculator. All I want to change are the X min and X max, and Y min and Y max. So my X values went from 0 to 7. So let's change our minimum to 0. And the max, I want to go a little bit higher, so I'll just go up to 10. Don't change anything else, just go down to Y min. You want your minimum to be a little bit lower than your lowest Y, so I'll go 270, I suppose. And then for your Y max, make that a little bit higher than the graph, so I'll say 550. So we've now set up a window where we should see our scatter plots, and if I hit graph, ta-da, there's my scatter plot. I can definitely see a strong positive correlation in that graph. I can imagine a straight line fitting that data really well. So anyway, we want to go ahead and get this equation that I came up with over here. So to find that equation of the line of best fit, go back to stat, and this time arrow over to the calculate menu and select option 4. It stands for linear regression. This is what it's called when the calculator does the equation for the line of best fit. So select linreg. You may see this screen pop up or you may not. Either way, don't change anything on here. Just go down to calculate or just keep hitting enter to get to calculate. And we'll get this. And there, it's reminding me I'm in slope-intercept form, y equals ax plus b or mx plus b. And there's my slope, which I've rounded off over here. And there's my y-intercept, which again, I've rounded off. Okay, now just to see that that line does really fit my data, I think it's always fun to go ahead and graph it. So go into y equals and then let's graph that line. So 40.87 x and then plus 262.83. And if I hit graph, I should see a line that really fits my data. And look at that. It's almost perfect going through that data. Okay. One thing you may want to do as well, if you want to see that R value, that correlation coefficient, to see how close it is to 1, since 1 would be a perfect fit. Mine didn't show it, so here's what you need to do. Press second catalog. And this will get you all the features in your calculator. Find the D's, or if I just press this, it should take me down to the D's, and find the thing called diagnostic on. So let me slowly scroll through this list. Be careful because there's a diagnostic off as well. So select diagnostic on. You should only have to do this once unless you change your batteries. And again, press enter, press enter. It'll look like nothing happened. But now when you go back and redo the line of best fit, so stat and calculate, and then option 4, and then calculate again. Lots of button pressing with these. Come on. Now when you rerun it, and again, you should only have to do that diagnostic thing once, you'll see your R value show up. Ignore R squared. There's our R value, 0.99. Remember, 1 is a perfect fit, so we have a very strong positive correlation. It's almost close to 1. Okay, the final part of this then was they want to imagine our trend continues. How many fuel efficient vehicles would we expect on the roads in 2020? So what I did was I found out that 2020 is 23 years past 1997. So I just used this equation. I typed in, I just used my calculator to work that out. Some people were smart and they realized they could actually use their table. So a second graph to get into the table, and scroll down until you find 23 in the X column. Well, let me get there fast. Sorry. Again, very exciting part of the video, watching me scroll down to get to 23. Come on, almost there. All right, so there we go. I probably pressed it way too many times, but there we go. We can see our answer in the table as well, the 1,203. Remember that number's already measured in the thousands. Oh, yep, I'm already gone. So anyway, if my calculator wasn't keep scrolling, I could go and type that in. Otherwise, you could just use your equation. You could use the table, but there's my line of best fit using the calculator.